in the next few weeks to be able to.
This is Colorado Republican Congressman Ken Buck. Congressman, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. So let's dive right in. Give me your sense about the approach that Speaker McCarthy has taken to this government spending fight. Do you know of any discussions inside the House Republican caucus on a consensus heading into these spending bill fights? Will there be a short-term continuing resolution to keep the government open while the negotiations go on?
Well, there has to be a short-term CR to keep the government open. We are not going to get 12 appropriations bills or 11 more appropriations bills done in the next 3 weeks. So I think that there have been conversations. I've been privy to phone calls that have gone on between members, and those conversations really amount to what the top line number is going to be. Are we going to have the 2019 top line number, the 2022 top line number, or is this CR going to be a continuing resolution on the amount that was designated last year that almost all Republicans voted against? So I don't see a lot of willpower to vote for something that almost everybody voted against last year.
So let's find a way through that then. If you are not opposed, or you're opposed, I should say, to the level of funding that it appears the Senate is willing to go to, how do you reconcile that? How do you pass something that can get through both chambers?
Well, that's the challenge that the speaker has. And in my view, he's only going to pass something with Democrat votes, and that's what's going to put him at risk for the motion to vacate. I don't see the speaker getting enough Republican votes for a continuing resolution in the next few weeks to be able to pass that continuing resolution.
Would you vote for a continuing resolution at this point to continue the conversation?
Yeah, I haven't seen one, so it's very difficult to answer that question. If it's at the 2019 levels, yes, I would vote for a continuing resolution. If it's at 22 or 23 levels, I will not vote for it.
Okay, so let's talk then about the potential ramifications of a shutdown. You've been through these before. It appears as though no political party benefits from a shutdown. Do you think that your colleagues in the Freedom Caucus understand that they're risking the potential political consequences of a shutdown as these negotiations go on?
I don't think anybody wants a shutdown. I don't think anybody in the Freedom Caucus is calling for a shutdown. The shutdown only happens as a result of not being able to come together on the bottom line number that would be used for the continuing resolution.
So talk to me about the Speaker's interactions with you and your Freedom Caucus colleagues. Has he made promises to you about where he is willing to hold the line when it comes to this spending fight?
Well, the Speaker has been really pushing appropriations bills and particular policy language on appropriations bills that are very helpful and very conservative. The thought is that when those bills go over to the Senate, that policy language will come off, and whatever number we have agreed to at that point becomes the baseline for negotiation. The Senate will come in with a higher number and will take the policy riders off. So the game now, the challenge now, is to produce bills that have low dollar figures in them, as well as strong policy riders, to give the Speaker a better negotiating position with the Senate when they start talking about the compromises that are inevitable for these kinds of bills.
All right, let's talk now about the other lingering issue that you guys are going to have to deal with when you come back next week, and that is the possibility of an impeachment inquiry. Your Republican colleague Matt Gaetz says that if Speaker McCarthy doesn't pursue impeachment, he could be out of a job. Do you agree with him there? Where does impeachment stand from your perspective?
Well, we have three committees right now that are investigating Hunter Biden as well as Joe Biden's actions. And those three committees are the Ways and Means Committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the Oversight Committee. And they're doing a great job. They have issued hundreds of subpoenas. They have interviewed hundreds of witnesses, reviewed thousands and thousands of documents. I don't see any reason to start an impeachment inquiry at this point in time when all the power, all the resources that we can muster are now being used to investigate whether Joe Biden received money from Hunter Biden or Hunter Biden's activities, or whether he in some way knew about Hunter Biden's activities. I have a feeling he did know about Hunter Biden's activities. I want to see direct evidence of it, but then perform certain government acts, firing a prosecutor in Ukraine or some other government act, and knew that his son was going to be getting more money as a result of that. If we see that kind of a connection, then I think an impeachment inquiry is appropriate, and we can develop the evidence to move on to an impeachment if it's there.
So, but to be clear, sir, at this point, you don't think that evidence has been presented. You're still waiting to see that evidence.
I do not think that evidence has been presented, and I don't think there's a need to have an impeachment inquiry when we have three committees that are doing great work developing the kind of evidence that would lead to an impeachment inquiry.
Okay, very good. So let me ask you about this. You wrote a letter this week rebuking a letter circulated by the Colorado Republican Party about the treatment of January 6 defendants, saying that they were spreading unsubstantiated rumors, including that they were being mistreated for their political views. Why do you think they sent that letter in the first place, and where do these ideas come from?
You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene has spread a lot of these ideas on her social media account and in other places, other forums. It's, I guess, popular to try to create this victimhood idea among people, and I disagree with them. And the facts are that she alleges, and others allege, that there are 200 or more defendants who are incarcerated pending charges. That is a gross misstatement. Nobody has been incarcerated pending charges. They've all been charged and either surrendered or have been arrested in connection with the January 6th. And so I have great misgivings about the Republican Party at a time when we have strong issues that we need to run on and that we need to hold President Biden accountable for: the border, inflation, crime, to be distracted by this kind of idea, rhetoric, is just a bad strategy, and I want to make sure that I do everything I can to put the right facts out there so that people can make a good judgment and we can move on.
And what can you do beyond just a letter? I mean, you were once the chair of the Colorado Republican Party. Is there something else that you can do to try and prevent them from spreading this type of misinformation?
Well, don't get me wrong. I think dialogue is valuable in the Republican Party, and I think we have healthy dialogue. What I want to make sure is that we don't have two sets of facts. There is one set of facts, and the facts are that these defendants have been treated like other defendants in a jail that is not a resort. It is a difficult place for every defendant to be while they are waiting trial. So I want to get the facts out, and then we can have a difference of opinion on whether some people should have been charged or sentenced the way they were, or whatever the case is. But we can't have two sets of facts, and that's what I want to deal with in the Republican Party in Colorado. But really, this goes beyond Colorado's borders.
Yeah. All right. Always a thoughtful conversation. Congressman Ken Buck, we'll see you when you get back here to Washington next week. Thank you so much for joining us.
One scoop of AG1